Well, hello there. How you going today? Hope everything is awesome in your world. My name's Campbell. This is Autodidactic 2, and of course, autodidactic means to be self-educated, and that's what we do here. We check out what's going on in the strange realm around us and come to our own conclusions, right? And we take in the information, don't judge it as right or wrong until we have enough information or reference points to actually create our own point of view. So definitely do not believe anything you hear on the videos or anything I say. Just take it in as information. It's all interesting. And when you get some different points of views and you make some more reference points, then you will start to form your own conclusions, your own point of view. And of course, YouTube algorithm. This is all just for entertainment purposes only. But enough talking. Let's jump into it.
What color was kindergarten?
Kindergarten?
Yeah, when you was in kindergarten or pre-K, what color was it?
Ooh.
It was every color.
Yeah, I was gonna say rainbow.
Okay, now when you went to first to second grade, what color was it?
I don't know.
It was bland. Man, it was that color.
Yeah, it was just
like jail.
Exactly. Then when you went to high school, what color was it?
Like jail.
Yeah.
Okay, then when you went to work, what color was the wall?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weighing you off the frequency. When you a kid, you vibrant, you running around, and then the first thing they do is they say, weighing them off the frequency. Make the walls tan, make everything tan, make it boring. Sit down, don't move. They just get you right out of spirituality. And then the next time that you do get introduced to a colorful environment, guess where you at? You in a club. If the club was this color, nobody would go. But since it's black and it's universal light, aka from red to purple, it feel like you in the universe. It feel like you in the So this is why people like the club. It's called colorology. Even hunger. Hunger is triggered by the color red, yellow, and orange. What color is Wendy's?
Yeah.
What color is
McDonald's.
Chick-fil-A, McDonald's?
Yeah.
Every highly successful fast food franchise, I guarantee you, if they not all red, orange, and yellow, they have either one of them colors at a high value.
Yeah.
So this is people who literally socially engineer the world.
Colors, hey? I mean, that's definitely true, right? Kindergarten, preschool, it's very colorful, right? Lots of different shapes and colors and things going on. Then we hit school and it's all white walls, maybe a wooden desk, a bit of brown if you're lucky, a black board. Well, they're white now, I guess, whiteboards if they still have them. But yeah, it just all gets bland, right? And by high school, it's just, yeah, there's no color left. It's very interesting, and of course, color is big, right? Color therapy, but think about the old cathedrals with their rose windows, right? The stained glass, it's all color, right? Color therapy, the sunlight, the light coming through that colored glass would put out different frequencies. And color is healing. It's actually a modality, color therapy. They use color to heal people. So it's very interesting, isn't it? That, as young children, we have access to all the colors and we're taught all the colors and it's all good. But as soon as we hit year one and above, that all suddenly disappears, right? Just turns into a program, right? Sit down and listen to what I'm saying and believe it. But let me know your thoughts on that. And have you had any experience with color therapy? Let us know in the comments.
There's a protocol to get somebody to confess to a crime. And it's a 4-step protocol. And when I teach interrogation, this is the way that we teach it. And it's also the way that you can get someone to do something that's not in their best interest. So I studied this for a long time. All the ways you can use hypnosis or conversations or movement or having authority. All these little things that we can do to make someone do something that's not in their best interest. So we train an intelligence officer. He's got to go talk somebody into, turning over secrets or something where he could face the death penalty or he could face jail time for doing what he's going to do. So the way that you get someone to confess to a crime, and I promise this is going to relate back to what you're talking about, is socialize, minimize, rationalize, and project. So those 4 things, if I socialize the issue first, so let me give you the crime example, and then I'll unpack it into social media. In a crime example, let's say I'm talking to you and you're charged with robbing a store. You took $1,000 from a 7-Eleven somewhere. So socializing would be, Sean, I think once people understand who you are and what you're going through in your life, that what you did is going to make perfect sense to everybody, and people are going to understand. Minimize is next. And I'm a detective here, and I talk to people who take millions of dollars all the time. I talk to murderers and homicide victims. I talk to families of homicide victims. What we're talking about here isn't a big deal. What you did is not a big deal. You made a mistake. And I just don't want you to think it's a big deal. I talk to people who do this all the time, and they get over it, and it's something people get through very quickly. It's not a big deal. Rationalize is the next step. So we did socialize, minimize. Now we have rationalize. And the rationalize part, depending on what it is, I'll rationalize the crime. Sometimes you blame the victim, depending on what crime it is. But I know you were working at that 7-Eleven. I've looked at the pay. He's paying you guys jack shit. He's not taking care of you guys. And I know you have an aunt that is in the hospital and her chemotherapy bills are piling up. And I think that you did this for the right reason. And then project. And at the end of the day, this isn't your fault. You reacted in a way that a human reacts in a situation that you were in. And anybody would have done what you would have done. So that's how you get a confession.
Wow. Okay. That's how you get a confession. I mean, it just goes to show you, right? This is all, it's such a system. Everything, right? The law, of course, right? And all these policemen, policy officers, are trained on this, right? They know, and this is the biggest thing that their biggest weapon, I guess, against us is they know how we work. They know our psychology. They know how emotions work, how thought works. And so they've learned to manipulate it, right? Just look into Edward Bernays, who, by the way, was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. And he brought in, all the Tavistock stuff. And he was basically the father of, Tavistock and all this mind control that's going on, MK Ultra and everything. So this is what they do. And like he was saying, that's how to get someone to confess to a crime. He actually did never say it's dependent on whether they're guilty or not. It's just how to get them to confess, right? Because that's really all they want. Once they get you and they can charge you, then they, in their weird maritime law, get access to your trust fund, your trust that was created at your birth, right? And this is what it's all about. All this law stuff is so that they can get access to funds that are yours. This is why they say that you're dead, right? And they're just looking after your trust for you until you come back and claim that you're alive. But everything is, it's just a scam, right? It's all manipulation of who we are and who we're taught to be as men and women. And guys, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who supports me in this channel, everyone who has been donating. I've only got to a few of them last week. And, yes, it's just very, very nice to know that you guys appreciate what I do and that you support it. And it means a lot. And that's one of the main reasons I do this, right? If no one was getting anything out of this, well, it'd be a waste of time, wouldn't it? So thank you for all your support, all your likes, all the hyping, the sharing, the donations, and the amazing comments. I really do appreciate it. And you guys are awesome. Definitely the best community on YouTube.
In control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied. Build a society around them in which those who have money benefit and those who don't fail. Make money their main focus, but make it so difficult to accumulate that they remain in a place of constant struggle, forced to dedicate the majority of their time to the system that made it this way. Tax them in every way possible, but tell them that it's for their own benefit so that they don't think twice about paying it. Take so much of their time and energy throughout the week, but give them 2 days to themselves so that they feel a sense of reward and don't fight back. Promote the consumption of poison in every social setting so that even on those 2 days, they remain disconnected from themselves and each other. Pump their food with excess sugars and addictive chemicals, but make it cheap, advertised, and easily accessible so that they never stop consuming. When their food makes them ill, prescribe them medication that only masks the symptoms so that they become dependent on it every day. Charge them so much money for healthcare so that they stay in a constant loop of consuming, medicating, and working. Cause chaos amongst them and blame it on a group of their own so that they form judgmental stereotypes. Turn them against each other in so many ways so that even if they were to connect on one, they would still be divided by another.
Wow. Well, she hit the nails on the head. Oh my God, she so much in that, right? And it's all true. We can see it all happening, right? Put us in school when we're 5, feed us chemicals, right? Take away any creativity we have, right? Through their education system, right? They teach us their viewpoint of the world. And like she said, then they test you on it constantly, right? So it really goes into the subconscious mind, and you start to think that their reality that they're pushing is real, right? And of course, the ones who fall into line are then put up as the smart kids, right? They get rewards. They get the jobs, right? They go into the jobs that pay the most, right? Because they're good little workers, right? Good little debt slaves. Then the money system. I mean, wow, there was just a lot in there. I'm not sure who that lady is. Let me know if you do. It said that she disappeared. I'm not sure if that's real or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But she was on the ball, man. That was a perfect description of what's going on here, right? And we've just talked about, the color that they take away as we get older. We talked about the school system yesterday in yesterday's video. Go check that one out if you haven't already. And it's just, yeah, that was good. That was a lot. Let me know your thoughts on that video because, yeah, I may have to watch that a few more times.
Look at the word grammar. Where does it come from? Grimoire, that's a book of magic spells. The structure of language, grammar, was originally understood as a magical system. Then there's cursive writing. We call it cursive because it creates curses. And spelling, you're casting spells. This isn't hidden. It's right there in plain sight. They just trained you to laugh it off as coincidence. But here's where it gets disturbing. In 1946, something vanished from American schools. Not prayer, not paddling. Etymology, the study of where words come from and what they actually mean. And the moment they removed it, you lost the ability to see the trap. Because when you understand what words really mean at their root, you start noticing that almost every word you use was designed to program you into accepting limitations you never agreed to. Let me prove it to you right now. There's a reason they stopped teaching etymology in 1946. Before that, every kid learned to decode words, to understand the hidden programs inside language. Then it stopped. Everywhere. All at once. They replaced it with memorization and standardized tests. Why? Because if you knew that understand literally means to stand under, to submit, you might stop saying I understand in every agreement. If you knew government breaks teams to govern, meaning control, and ment, meaning mind, you might start questioning authority differently. They gave you a corrupted vocabulary and told you words don't matter. But words are spells, and they've been casting them over you your entire life. Listen, I know how that sounds. I know you're probably thinking, okay, this is going to be some weird metaphor thing. But stay with me, because what I'm about to show you isn't a metaphor at all. It's physics. It's biology. And they've systematically hidden it from you because once you understand that your words aren't describing reality, they're creating it, you become ungovernable. Here's the truth nobody's telling you. You've been doing the work, right? Like positive thinking. This means you're not lazy, and you're definitely not missing some secret ingredient. But here's what's happening. You've been using contaminated language that programs failure directly into your nervous system, and they did that on purpose. Think about it. You say, I'm trying to lose weight. What does your subconscious hear? Trying, attempting, but not succeeding. It means effort without result. You say, I want to be successful. Your body hears want, lack, desire, the state of not having. You say, I need more money. Your cells receive need, scarcity, desperation, emergency mode. Every single one of those statements is a spell, and you just cast limitation into your reality without even knowing it. Now here's what they don't want you to know. The elite study etymology like their lives depend on it. They teach their children Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, Hebrew, these ancient languages that are basically frequency codes. While they're learning to program reality, they give your kids text speak and emojis. They dumb down the vocabulary. They remove etymology from schools, and they tell you the biggest lie ever told. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not protection. That's programming you to dismiss the most powerful force in your reality. Words aren't neutral. I need you to understand this. They're not just communication tools, they're technology, frequency technology. Every word you speak creates an electromagnetic signature. Problem is, nobody told you that thoughts don't create reality. Words do. Because thoughts are made of words, right? You can't think without language. And if your language is corrupted, your thoughts are corrupted, which means your reality is corrupted. It's that simple. And get this, spelling and casting spells aren't coincidence. But once you decode even 5 words, you can't unsee it. Mortgage. Mort means death, like mortal mortuary. Gage means pledge, like engage. A binding agreement. Mortgage equals death pledge. You're signing a death pledge, and they call it that right to your face. Pharmacy comes from pharmakia, sorcery, witchcraft. Government equals govern, control, plus meant mind, mind control. They're telling you exactly what they're doing, and you're agreeing because nobody taught you to read the code. So here's what changes once you understand this. Once you get that language is literal reality programming technology, you gain complete linguistic sovereignty. You stop speaking unconsciously. You stop signing invisible contracts. You stop casting limitation spells over your own life. You reclaim the creative power they've deliberately hidden from you. This isn't about positive thinking. Positive thinking is surface level. It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. This is about understanding that you are a frequency generator broadcasting electromagnetic signatures every second. and language is how you tune that frequency. Some people manifest easily, and listen, it's not because they're more spiritual or more blessed. They just understand that every sentence is a contract with the universe, and the universe always says yes. Why decode language when you can just memorize what they tell you it means, right? Just trust us. This word means this. Don't ask where it came from. Don't ask what the roots are. Just memorize it and move on. This was coordinated. After World War II, after they saw what propaganda could do, how language could move entire nations, how words could convince people to do unspeakable things, they systematically removed linguistic literacy from education. Edward Bernays. You got to know this name. Nephew of Sigmund Freud. Literally wrote the book on propaganda, public relations, he called it. He understood that controlling language controls populations. And his whole philosophy was this: a population that decodes language is dangerous. A population that understands etymology asks too many questions. They see through the manipulation. They recognize the spells being cast.
Wow, spelling, spells are one of my favorite topics. And I've said it many times. This is why when you go to school at 5, the first thing they teach you is spelling, right? Come inside, leave your imaginary friend at the door, because that's your imagination, and come and learn the spells that we want you to cast. And of course, Hollywood, right? The wood of the holly tree is what they made magic wands from, right? Those wands that cast spells. And what is a group of actors called that is making a movie or a show? A cast. They are casting spells. When they want it to go out to the general public, they call it a broadcast. Right? It's all there. And week, we heard in the last video, she was talking about work. The work week, the working week is what we call it when you go to a job, right? For the 9 to 5. And then, of course, at the weekend, you're weakened. And then if you do your 40 years of being tired, they let you retire. This spelling stuff is everywhere. Like you said, grammar comes from grimoire, which is a spell book. Cursive writing, or it's just everywhere. The first ones I caught on to, when I was young, was breakfast, break fast, right? It's the first meal after you fast. It's actually supposed to be lunch, or it used to be, and Christmas, Christ Mass, right? So they do that a lot too. They join words. They join words together, like mistake, right? Like then they've got us thinking that a mistake is something bad and we failed. A mistake is another joined word. It's mistake, right? It's just a mistake, as they do in the movies. Take one, take two, right? So it actually means, well, you didn't succeed this time, but you definitely learnt a way that doesn't work and you've learned something. So then go and try it again differently. It's just a mistake. And this stuff is everywhere, right? It's everywhere through our society. And the fact that they took out etymology it just proves this, right? And especially Latin. If we were all still taught Latin, we would understand so many more meanings of the spells that they're casting because so much of our language is based on Latin, right? And then we have the other influences of the other languages that he mentioned, like Hebrew and Vedic and old languages like that, which yeah, like he said, were based on energy, right? And understanding how it flows. And of course, all this positive thinking, right? If you've got the wrong words, if you're using the wrong spells, you're going to get the wrong results. And, affirmations. What are affirmations? That they're phrases that we repeat to ourselves, much like singing a song in your head over and over. That's why music and especially lyrics have degraded so much. They're so shallow. They're so bad. Like my friend's daughter, 14-year-old daughter, is into Taylor Swift, and she played us Taylor's new songs. And of course, all the Swifties are going off their heads. Oh my God, it's amazing. I mean, I could barely listen to it. It was the most shallow, vacuous thing I think I've ever heard. But the young people are loving it, especially the young girls, right? And it's all about relationships and it's all sexualized and all this stuff. It's them when they repeat these words and sing them, they're affirming all these values in their mind. It's a massive, massive spell casting ritual. It's crazy. So what are the most powerful words you can speak, the most powerful spells you can cast into reality to create your reality? I am. All right. It's like he said, try. I am trying this. Well, try and stand up. If you're sitting down, try and stand up. You can't. That's called sitting down. If you're standing up, try and sit down. You can't. It's called standing, right? You can't try. I think it was Yoda, wasn't it? Do or do not. There is no try. So I am successful. I am loved. I am happy. I am creating amazing things. I am is a very powerful spell. But of course, they also teach us through society not to use that. If you walk around saying, I am this and I am that, people will say, oh my God, look at the ego on that person. Oh, they're so full of themselves, right? So when we get on the right track and we start casting the right spells, they have the masses, right? The unthinking masses there to try and make you think that you're self-absorbed and doing the wrong thing. It's it's such a massive, massive program. So don't fall for it, guys. Right? Create your own spells. I am. Speak it into existence, and then you'll get to experience it.
The biggest mind control program there is, and it's actually in the movie The Matrix when they try to break Morpheus with the Agent Smith tried to break his mind. He voiced the most common program we actually are run by, and that's your shame that you exist. You are ashamed to exist. Because that agent told you are a virus, and he was just projecting because he was obviously the virus, the dead thing. You're the real living thing. And virus is jealous, so it tells you you're smelly, you shouldn't exist, so you are born here. And then the system tells you, okay, you should be ashamed of your existence because you have a carbon footprint and you have all these negative things come out of you existing. You harm nature. You have to build a house, you have to eat, so you're killing things all the time. You should be ashamed to exist. And this is internalized by children, and it's very tactfully, what's the word? Children, when they're very young, they get scared, they get fearful because they think they are destroying the planet. And then you have this internalized self-hate. And this is what the program wants. The program wants you to hate yourself so you become its slave and you give all the power away. You please the narcissistic program that wants to leech your energy and use you as a battery. That's what people pleasing means. You just bought into the belief that you don't deserve to exist because you're so horrible. You should watch your carbon footprint because you're a disease, a parasite. So humans are parasitic. This is internalized hate. Human hate, xenophobia, is the worst program. How can you exist while simultaneously hating humans? And this is what the dark occultists are based on. They hate themselves, they hate humans, so they want to destroy humans. So they want to create dead cults so they can cull the population. So that's what's happening in dead cults. It's very simple. You see the programming, you think, oh wait, they just tried to manipulate me into thinking I didn't deserve to exist, I'm worthless, you know? Everyone goes to a psychologist, has the same programming. Oh, I feel insecure, I'm not good enough. This is because the programming is the same. You've been shamed to exist. This is the same in a narcissistic family structure, where, for example, you have a narcissistic mother, and she literally creates you, and then she treats you like a piece of shit. Why? Because she wants to extract free labor from you and admiration from you because she hates herself. This is the same in the grand scale of society. It's always the same patterns, but it's based on programming. And once you step out of the programming, you see everything for it is. It's all running on the same thing. And it's exactly in the movies. They tell a story, because we're in the story right now. Humans are ashamed to exist. And if you care about climate change and all the new programming, you will most likely self-destruct because you feel so guilty for being alive, for having needs, because the narcissistic matrix told you to starve yourself because you're such a shameful being, right? This is not true. It's never been true. They are projecting. You are a wonderful being. You deserve to exist because otherwise you wouldn't exist. It's that simple. It's nature. An animal in nature would never have low self-esteem. And my cat, he's just himself. He loves to live, exist, be outside, cuddle. He has no internalized hate like humans do. That's the sickness of humans. When you let yourself be gaslit by the virus, which is projecting its own filth onto you, you go sweating like Morpheus in the scene. Oh, maybe I'm bad. Maybe I'm the bad one. No, you're not. You're just a human being experiencing consciousness, experiencing a human life. You deserve to exist, and everything is all one. Everything is self, anyway.
Yeah, well said. The program. Pro is for. Grammar, grimoire, a spell book for the spells, right? Pro spell. That's the program, right? It's for their spells that they're casting. And yeah, it's so true, especially with climate change, right? I mean, this is how they're programmed, especially the youth, but literally we see people out there now who will yell and scream at people. They want the farming to stop. They want farms to stop. They literally are so far gone that they don't understand that, farms are where their food comes from. And they get out there and protest it. They protest, people who drive petrol cars or gasoline, right? And they want everyone to go electric without understanding that electric cars are doing much, much more damage, right? Because they need to dig up all the lithium. They're destroying ecosystems. They're using child slave labor, right? And then once they make the batteries, that what do we do with them? They can't get rid of them. It's just crazy how they really have programmed so many people, but especially the young generation. And like she said, it's all about shame and guilt. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I'm destroying the world. When clearly we're not, because they love to gaslight. Right, we heard this term come out in, 21, 22, gaslighting, projecting yourself onto someone else. And this is all they do. They are the ones destroying the world. They are the ones pushing and owning the big mining companies that go and rip up nature, the deforestation, right? Culling of animals, right? In Victoria last year, they went and they killed 600 koalas, and they did it by flying around in helicopters, shooting them. So it wasn't, an unpainful death, right? They were just shooting them, and it's disgraceful, disgusting. And this is what they do. And then they project onto us that it's us who are killing everything, right? The world. The world's going to blow up because of you. So you've got to, stop eating this food. You've got to stop driving this. You've got to stop doing that while they fly around in their planes and on their $1 million boats, right? They definitely don't restrict themselves. So the programming is absolutely crazy as far as guilt and shame. And, this is the thing. When you want to conquer a people, the easiest way to win that is to make your enemy give up. Make them give up. Make them stop fighting. Make them kill themselves, right? Put themselves as the enemy. That's how they do it, right? Because this is a war, right? In my mind, we have been invaded, and these people are the invaders, and they tell us, right? Oh, Billy Goat Gates wants to depopulate the world, right, by billions. Of course, his parents started Planned Parenthood, right, which is eugenics, which is the same thing, right? Depopulate the world. But of course, we don't see them offing themselves, right? It's not them that they want to depopulate. It's us, right? And yeah, it's very hard to wrap your mind around how people can buy such strong programming. But I guess if that's all you've known, if you've gone to school and you've bought the program and then you've seen it on the news and you're believing all this stuff and they put us in echo chambers. So once you get, or start forming a viewpoint, that's all that you'll get from social media, from the internet, right? They're just the same messages hammered at you. And of course, one of the biggest programs, which we heard in an earlier video, is that humans, men and women, are these aggressive, violent, warlike beings, right? And that's what we've always been, right? We evolved from monkeys, right? And we've come up because, we basically dominated the earth and wiped out everything in our way. Again, that is such a massive gaslight. That's not humans. I've never met a man or a woman who wants to do that. That's what the elites do. That's what they do. They are the ones who start wars. They are the ones who wipe out species, destroy nature. It's all them. It's not us. So yeah, good video, man, and it's so true. They instill shame to bring us down, keep us subdued, and basically it's how they win the war, by making us give up. But let me know your thoughts on all of this. I'd love to hear it. And while I've got you guys, thanks for spending some time with me. If you are enjoying this, please do give me a like, hype it up if you can, share it around, leave me your comments, and of course, make sure you're subscribed.
You say in your book that mind control slaves were permitted any drug except marijuana. Why? It's an excellent question. The effects of marijuana on the brain are not conducive to mind control.
It doesn't mean you can't be traumatized and put under mind control. It just means it screws up the programming.
Because it actually opens neuron pathways in the brain. It expands thought. I'm not going to stand here and speak pro-marijuana because...
No, because somebody be putting it in my car and popping me for it.
But I am anti-marijuana because we see all these ads on TV and everything, and even Dole and Clinton in their campaigns are saying, what's it, Dole said, guns, violence, and marijuana, as if it's so violent, because it is not conducive to mind control. They want it off the streets more than they want their drugs, like cocaine, off the street. Marijuana is especially targeted. I don't promote the use of marijuana as a Band-Aid for mind control because, again, knowledge is our only defense against it.
Wow, there you go. Did you know that, front? I mean, I think we've all observed this throughout our lives. It's definitely the free thinkers who tend to be the smokers. Like, it just is. It always has been, right? I noticed this, from my teens, right? When all the interesting hippie types were the smokers and they were the smartest people that I could find, right? The freest thinkers, because she just told us, right? It stops the programming. It makes it harder to go in. So, what do you think about that? Have you noticed this in your life? Do you smoke? Do you partake of the weed? Which, of course, they want us to think is the devil's weed or the devil's lettuce, and all those videos back from what, the 40s or 50s. Oh, might have even been earlier, where the marijuana and people would smoke it and go crazy and jump out windows and all this propaganda. But it's like she said, they're quite happy for cocaine and all these other drugs to be available, illegal or not, available all across, the world, on all the streets, right? The war on drugs, right? Well, what did that ever achieve? Nothing. And then we've got pharmaceuticals, pharmakia, right? They will tell you that stuff's good for you. They're just here to help. It's going to heal you, right? Take our chemicals, our poison, right? But whatever you do, do not intake of a natural plant. And why? Because it will stop their government, their mind control. Interesting, but let me know your thoughts on that.
And the first of one of these gods was Is. That IS. That same IS you find in Christ. That same IS you find in Christianity. That same IS you find in Judaism. That same IS you find in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam. Interesting. Interesting how every single religion in the world has that IS in it. Next, we have something called Ra. So let me get this straight. The Muslims pray at Ramadan, R-A, and they read the Quran, R-A, and they pray, R-A. Who are you praying to? You praying to Allah or you praying to Ra? Who are you praying to? I'm being dead serious with you guys. Who are you actually praying to? I think you're praying to a demon. And that is not to mock you in any single way.
Yes. And they are all Ra legions, right? Ra Legion, the army of the sun god. And I definitely believe that anyone following a formalized religion has been tricked into worshipping a demon, the Lord. Just read about what the Lord does in the Old Testament, right? And we've been over this a lot, but the sacrifice, all this kind of stuff going around, leveling whole cities, right? And killing, right? And everyone in there, including the animals, smiting people, with his ark of the covenant, right? The electric ark. It's everywhere. And Ra, he sort of focused on Islam at the end, but I'm sure there's got to be Ra's in Christianity, Buddhism, Sikhism, all these other religions. So if you know any of those, the Ra words, leave them in the comments, right? I'd like to see them. But yeah, I think with the IS, it's interesting. That's is, right? Is something that's outside of you, right? I is you, is has to be outside of you. That is this. They is that. That's not the right tense, is it? But you know what I mean, right? Is outside. That's the external God, which is the false God, clearly. Like the universe, the God, the creator, the energy, it lives inside you. And you'll find this said in all religions, right? Religions anyway. Definitely it says it in the Bible, the New Testament. Jesus says, God is within. God lives in the temple. The temple, right? We got temples, right? This is your temple. That's where God lives, right? Inside of you. The whole scam is that they are making us believe and worship things outside of us. They're making us believe that God is outside of us. The Creator is outside of us. Therefore, it's not you. Right? And is, obviously ISIS, and it also made me think of the space station, the ISS. I don't know, got any more IS words? Leave them in the comments as well. And let me know what you think about all that.
The ocean is terrifying and sirens exist. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Christopher Columbus literally wrote in his records about mermaids, sirens. They exist. Let's get into it. He wrote in his logs about his crew members being tortured by women in the water that sang. And there was a particular time where 3 of them rose out of the water, and he specifically said, they are not as beautiful as they're painted. Number 1, telling us that they're sirens, not Ariel in the deep blue sea. And number 2, telling us that this isn't anything new. I'm trying to tell you guys, sirens have been written about for centuries. This is why I'm going to tell you right now, the Book of Enoch is correct. I know it is. I know that's the case. The sirens are the mortal women that procreated with the fallen angels, and they were cursed to the sea to become sirens when the flood came. They've been around since the time of Noah because remember, everything in the water did not die. Only the things on land, from what I know. So that's why the ocean, like the things in the ocean and the depths of the ocean are so old. They're there from the beginning of time. So this is why you see In the 1800s, logs written about sirens all the way to now at Navy Pier in Chicago, modern day, people talk about they're seeing sirens. This stuff goes deeper than you could possibly ever imagine. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Christopher Columbus getting attacked by sirens was his karma because you quite literally like slaughtered a whole bunch of Native Americans. So yeah, maybe that's just your retribution. But yeah, this is like no new thing. There are so many people in the Navy that go psychologically insane because of the things that they see in the water. Quite honestly, the research that I have done and the things that I have read about what they have encountered, it's gonna spook you so bad. But you're gonna hate me. I'm not gonna tell you. I am actually going to be covering this specifically in my subscriber hub. We're gonna get into all the tea every single Monday. I'm going live and we're going to yap about everything that I cannot post publicly because they keep taking my videos down. It is gonna be a time, and y'all, it's only $4.99 a month. That is less than one thing of coffee at Starbucks. I don't even know why y'all drinking that Siren coffee anyway. So head on over to the Yap Corner on Facebook and subscribe because it's going to be lit.
There you go. I might have to subscribe to that. If you haven't seen my podcast, Tartaria Australia, we're now up to part 7, I think, on talking about the ocean and things like sirens, right? Which they, have changed to mermaids. And of course, siren is where we get the word siren from, right? Like police sirens, danger. Like you've got to take notice, right? All these government mind control vehicles have sirens on them. Interesting. And the Book of Enoch. Okay, so that's an interesting one. I agree with her. I think there's a lot of truth in that one. I think it's a lot less edited than the Bible, but Christians will tell you that that is not part of the Bible. That's an extra canon book, right? Like it's kind of related, but it's not the word of God. Enoch was Noah's grandfather, right? But they'll still sit there and fight with you, and oh no, it's you can't believe that it's not true. And this is people who've never read it, have never read the Bible, right? They're the ones who are the loudest, right? As we spoke about yesterday on yesterday's video, the great dumbing down. It's it's the stupidest people who speak the loudest, right? Because ignorance is bliss, and dumb people are so dumb they don't know they're dumb, right? So they run around yelling and ranting. We've seen this a lot in the last 5 years, right? But what do you think sirens are? Let me know. What do you think mermaids are? It's definitely been turned into, like Ariel, like she said, into these happy, beautiful things. And now even, like sea parks, which I don't, obviously, we're all not into them keeping, especially mammals, whales, and dolphins in captivity. But they have women who dress up as mermaids and swim around. They want to be mermaids. That version of a mermaid doesn't exist in reality, but the ugly sirens who call, boats onto the rocks and like to cause chaos, they're the real mermaids, or at least what we call mermaids. And if you look at the old maps, just get a map pre 1600, well, pre 1700 probably, and there's mermaids all over them. It's all over them. It's all over our building, all this aquatic theme stuff like the old world fountains, right? Mermaids everywhere. Like, so that this is another part of history, his story, um, that has been taken away, right? And it's been uh, not anthropomorphized, but more, I guess, cartoonified, I guess would be a good word to use. That they get all these you know, bad sort of evil beings and concepts and turn them into something happy and put it on Disney for you, right? Disney, the 666 Disney, the one where every movie they make for kids, the parents die in the first 5 minutes, right? And do I need to say anything else about Disney? But let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think about sirens and mermaids? Is it real? Is it a psyop? There's been a lot of videos came out, especially late last year, about people, fishermen, naval people seeing mermaids, catching mermaids, and then this whole narrative about the Allies eating them. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments.
It can't see me through the mirror. How can you see what I'm doing?
What?
How can you see me if the towel is up?
Why does it matter?
Why does it matter? Because this is so weird how mirrors work. Because the towel is up. It should be blocking the way that I am looking right now, yet apparently you can see me.
I can see you.
You can see every movement that I'm making, even though the towel is right in front of my face.
Exactly.
You can see that?
All right, so obviously this, the whole tower mirror thing came out last year or the year before. A lot of people were doing it and asking questions. I did look into, the mainstream explanation, and it's all to do with light and refraction, and all the light bounces off you onto the wall and then back into the mirror and somehow makes a perfect representation of you. But you look into mirrors and what they thought about mirrors, a few hundred years ago, and it was a different thing. They were saying that spirits live in mirrors, right? Bad things. It's an alternate world. It's a reverse world. It's like Bizarro world from Superman, right? And then there are lots of movies out there about possession and stuff and demons, and they trap the demons in the mirror. That's how they get them. And they smash the mirror, and that's how they get rid of the demons. So what do you think about mirrors? What do you think's happening here? Is that, your evil twin? Is that an entity inside the mirror? And that's the reason that we can see it, even when there's something in front of it, right? A screen screening that image. Because logically, when you think about it, that should not be able to happen. And this is what science and the mainstream do. They give us these massive explanations full of big equations and refraction and all this stuff, and then, of course, if you don't understand that, well, you're just dumb. Well, I would say if you let other people tell you and talk you out of your own senses, your own experience, that will make you dumb, right? Because you know what's true, right? We feel it. We feel what's true. And to me, that should not be able to happen. But please let me know your thoughts on it. What are mirrors and why? Why does that effect happen? How can it happen?
Looser your hips, the longer your life. And so I'm gonna put y'all through this daily hip circuit that I do to help loosen my hips and extend my life. Okay? Every rising, we all need to make sure we loosen our hips. So remember, all of our most central body parts are right here in our core, okay? We have our intestines, our sacral chakra, our womb, our penis, all of that. So we have to make sure we're stretching our hips if we want to lengthen our life. So this is the hip flexor. We need to make sure we're stretching our hip flexors. If you can find something to put your foot on and just lean forward, I'm right here. And then I turn to the side to make sure I'm further opening up my hip right here, okay? So I do this on both sides. This is a great stretch to help open up your hip flexors. Make sure you do it on both sides. This is gonna help alleviate back pain. If you have back pain, then this is a hip stretch that you need to put your hands to the sky. I'm outside to the sun. Okay, right out of that, we're gonna stretch our hamstrings. So I'm just down here, and I'm just stretching out my hamstring real good. Y'all see that? My leg is out, and I'm trying to go as far down as I can. So you can put your foot up on anything. The higher you put your foot, the more it's gonna be. And then I'm pulling my toes back. That way I can get a good stretch of my calf muscles as well. But we need to make sure we're stretching out our hamstrings. Our hamstrings are connected to our glutes. It's connected to our back. Okay? The next one that I'm going to do is going to be right here. This one's a little more advanced. I'm using these bars, but I'm crossing my leg right here. You can do it without, but this is going to stretch this right here. This is going to stretch your glute, that hip socket. This is going to help alleviate back pain. This is one of my favorite ones. The deeper you go into this stretch, of course, the better it is. But this one feels amazing. Oh, right there, okay? And then, of course, I'm going into my ancestor squat. My ancestor squat, I'm right here. Our ancestors would sit like this. They would dine like this. They would do pretty much everything like this. This opening up my groins. I could go deeper down like this. But yeah, I just wanted to put you guys through my quick hip circuit to help loosen my hips, extend my life. I'm out here in the sun, I'm sweating. Make sure you're sweating. Absorbing sunlight is great for you. The looser your hips, the longer your life. Remember that. Do that stretch circuit really quickly. Those 3-4 stretches every single day, and you're gonna feel much better in your back, your lower extremities.
Well, there you go. Do you have back pain? Give it a go. And I find it interesting that he kept mentioning it's going to lengthen your life, because what he's stretching out is the creative part of our body, right? The sexual organs, that's where we create life from. So obviously you want that to be in good shape and, nice and unrestricted. And it makes sense to me that that would lengthen your life, right? Because that's the area where you create life. Very good. I definitely need to get back into stretching. I used to do a lot of martial arts when I was young. I used to be able to do the splits. Can't so much anymore. I haven't done a lot since my accident. Obviously, I've been a bit restricted, but I'm definitely getting back into it now. So let me know. Are you going to give that a go? Because, I remember when I was young, and maybe it was one of the reasons I got into martial arts, and stretching. I used to love stretching. I just used to love it because I used to see these old people walking around and they could hardly move their legs, right? And they'd start to bend over, and you could see that they were just so tight around that area, right? Around their hips and the top of their legs. It was all seizing up because they'd never stretched it, right? And all the Western sports, there's not a lot of, they don't get into stretching that much, right? Maybe a little bit of leg stretching, but not much. But then you get into the Asian, arts, the Asian exercises like Tai Chi and yoga and martial arts and all this stuff. It's all about stretching and all about movement and keeping yourself supple. And I totally agree that that is a way to extend your life, but definitely to extend the quality of your life, right? Again, use it or lose it. We don't want to be old. We don't want to live a long time if we don't have a good body to live in. But there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, share this around, all that kind of stuff. Hype it up, and leave me your comments because I like reading them. I don't get through them all, unfortunately, because there's a lot, but I do go through and read as many as I can. And again, I see you guys, you're reading each other's comments too, which is, the biggest thing because we're all pieces of the puzzle, right? So the more, different perspectives that we can get, and you get these three people's ideas and their comments, then the more clarity that you can get, the more reference points, the more that you will come to your own point of view on a topic. So make sure you get involved. And again, thanks to everyone who does get involved, who likes and hypes and shares and donates and comments. I really, really do appreciate you all. And stay awesome because you are. And I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.
Are you thirsty?
Go to sleep. You are killing me, and you are guaranteeing your spot attached to the fence with a hose and some shampoo. This, oh my God, this is my dog. This is my dog.